friends, we're in Wednesday's lesson today. Wednesday's lesson is mercy forfeited. Mercy forfeited. It is possible to forfeit the grace and the mercy of God. The love of God is so amazing sometimes. And I think we believe that it is so free that we can do whatever we want with it. But that's not exactly true. While God's love never fails and he is consistent and his love is not conditional, the reception of the blessings that flow from that love, well, that is conditional. That doesn't just overwhelm our choice and overwhelm our decisions. We can accept or we can reject the love of God. We're looking today at 1 John chapter 4, 1 John chapter 4, verses 7 to 20. Listen to verse 7. Verse 7 says this, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone who loves is born of God and knows God." Everyone who loves is truly born of God and knows God. In fact, we can't claim to really know God if we don't really love people and if we don't love those we see every single day. Love is a fulfillment of, and it's proof that we have relationship with God. So if you're one of those bitter Christians, or you run into people who are just bitter and salty all the time and they claim to love God, it's not true. Can't really love God without expressing that love to our fellow human beings. And this chapter, 1 John 4, really captures that. He who does not love does not know God, for God is love. In this, the love of God was manifested toward us, that God has sent his only begotten Son into the world, that we might live through him. So we see here, God has poured out his love through Jesus Christ to demonstrate and make a manifestation to us of what true love really is. But something else is happening in this scripture. Look at verse 19. Love has been perfected. No, that's not it. Here we go. Verse 19. We love him because he first loved us. So God's love is first. He shows us, demonstrates his love towards us, and then our response is one of love. In today's study, we look at the parable of this unjust servant in Matthew chapter 18, verses 23 to 35. The servant had owed a huge debt to his master. The calculation in the Sabbath school lesson, 10,000 talents worth. The calculation required in order for him to repay that debt, it would be something like 200 years of labor. Basically, he could not repay that debt when the master forgave him and willingly poured out his love toward that servant. But when the servant had another servant who owed him a little bit of money, owed him just 100 denarii, he refused to forgive that debt, had the servant thrown in prison and hurt. And so because of his act, his failure to love and express, manifest benevolence toward the one that owed him money, his master rescinded his love, rescinded his forgiveness, and then punished him. The point of this beautiful, sobering parable is this: that love expressed demands a response. That love expressed can be rejected by the behavior that we choose to engage in towards one another. That's what 1 John 4 really captures for me. It is how we ought to, because God has loved us, how we ought to love one another and live in relationship with each other. May God bless you today. Keep on loving.